Oh, here. Okay, we're good. We're good.
Excellent.
Yep. We're all here.
Cool, gang.
Hey, everybody.
Let's hit it.
What's up? How you
I'm
guys doing?
Robbie Daymond. We're all voice actors. I assume you're here. You know that. This gentleman to my right is Max Mittelman. That's Ray Chase. We've been in numerous things together. We're here to answer your questions. We'll try to make them short and bite-sizable so that you can enter them into whatever thing,
No video recording, please.
whatever thing
It's
you're
showing.
doing.
It's showing.
Audio's okay though. They've got the lens cap on. And we can get that going however you would like. Why don't we start right here up front? Well, this is our right to left. We'll go this way.
Hi there, Seth Byrne, Anime Herald.
Hello.
Hello.
We've
We've met before.
a few times.
Anime Herald is they're very, very fun questions. I can't wait to see what you come up with this time.
Well, now you built it up. I hope you're good.
Well, so here's the thing. I'm going to give you guys a choice.
Okay.
If you guys want to touch the third rail, I'll ask you a question about unionization within the industry.
Uh-oh.
Or we could give your most embarrassing Ray Chase story.
Oh, man. What
Ray
a tough
Chase. Yeah, Ray
decision.
Chase.
Ray Chase.
He's so boring. There's nothing to be embarrassed about.
Most embarrassing? Well, what's our favorite thing about Ray Chase?
One of my favorite and most embarrassing things about Ray Chase is that he's a little bit of a sloppy eater. So you have a 50-50 chance if you meet Ray Chase to you will have some form of soup on his shirt. So far today he's in the clear. He started carrying a Tide pen, which has really upped his clean percentage.
Yes, I was going to say my favorite thing about Ray Chase also had to do with food, and it's just the speed at which he inhales it.
Yeah, that's true. We are also, I'll speak for myself, I shouldn't say we. I'm absolutely pro-unionization. I hope the industry starts to build itself around that. I hope that it provides insurance and retirement and a more fair and equitable salary for everyone who works on anime. Guess what? It's no longer DVDs that you buy in a Fry's in 1999. They're movies that make $25 million at the box office, and they are huge streaming platforms built around them. The industry has been built around a non-union model for 20 years. It's a hard thing to break out of. We respect that and understand it, but it's time to shine some light on it and bring it into the 21st century.
I will also say, I know it's a hot button issue, but over the past 5 years, a ton of studios went union, that weren't before, and I feel like I've been doing basically just entirely union stuff at this point. Aniplex has been completely union, and
JRPGs are starting to flip.
JRPGs.
Studios like BCB are turning non-union projects.
and even a lot of Chinese and Korean mobile games have been union, which has been fantastic. So it's actually, I feel like a lot of progress has been made, which is awesome. Still a long way to go, but it's been awesome.
Let's keep going this way, right back there.
Doug Engler with Anime-Zing Radio. It's a pleasure to meet you, gentlemen.
Nice to meet you too.
Glad to be here.
I wanted to know, with COVID and the ways you had to change going from in-studio to in-home, was that a big adjustment for you guys to have to make, especially where I know with Funimation titles, a lot of the voice actors had to not only record, but edit their own stuff?
Edit? We haven't been asked to do that, I don't think. I mean, we have to upload the raw files.
When the pandemic first started, I had one session from a major studio who asked me to cut and record every single line and also slate the line myself, which is crazy to have to do that as an actor and also keep up, stay in the moment with the performance. They soon learned after that. That was the only time that they had any actor do that. Because
Actors can't count.
we can't do that.
Can't count.
It doesn't. We're
One.
not smart.
5,
Set-
13. I can't do that.
Oh, you're
Never been
trying
able
to count consecutively?
Isn't it?
What does consecutive mean?
What?
Thank you for your question.
But also we did have home studios. We all three of us had home studios before. Obviously souped it up when the pandemic happened because they really people were really cracking down on making sure everything sounded good. But we were already. I mean, we record all of our auditions from home.
yeah,
So
I guess,
we are.
Yeah.
There were some people who were caught off guard for sure, especially if you're first starting out. But we've been recording from home on all sorts of random stuff.
I didn't really change anything when the pandemic started. I already had the setup, so
Yeah.
they said, let's start utilizing it.
Yeah, I think also, just a few upgrades here and there for most of us who are pros. Yeah, I had enough like my setup was good enough to do like broadcast quality auditions and like some commercials and stuff, but when it came to doing like long form sessions, like full 4-hour video game sessions or cartoon and stuff, I had to do a few upgrading. Like I went from a 3/4 booth in my studio to a full booth, just a few.
How about a monitor for
Yeah.
dubbing
For dubs.
stuff?
We all probably downloaded Source Connect. I didn't have Source Connect before that. I was just doing like other things. But it was necessary. And I think the whole industry caught up in what, 2 months? Within
Yes.
2 months, we were humming.
I'd say 30 days. I think.
Yeah,
after
it was a
30 days.
month of weirdness, and then
Yeah.
within that amount of time, it was then industry standard. Yeah.
Yep.
It's also miserable. Well, I hate it. I'm over it. I want to go to studios all the time.
Yeah.
The best part about our job is like interacting with people and being in the room with them, even if they're on the other side of the glass. And it's just really disheartening to be. I know a lot of people said, "Oh, it's opened up all these opportunities for casting outside of certain areas." Totally for that. I'm great. I'm glad you can cast a wider net. But just it's really creatively bankrupting sometimes, especially if you do a lot of scenes throughout or a lot of sessions.
When you go to the studio, you get free chips. Anytime studios you
Yeah.
go to, and the fact that I'm not allowed to have that anymore, I have to supply my own, has been a real bummer.
Yeah.
Pretty much the worst thing that's happened in the pandemic, I would say.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's a joke, by the way. That's a joke.
No.
How about right back there? Yes.
Mary Lee Satter from Honey's Anime.
Hi.
Since you guys stream on Twitch, do you feel like that has sort of changed your relationship with the anime fan community?
We do stream on Twitch at twitch.tv/loudanoying every Wednesday from 7 to 9 p.m.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I have to say.
It's really fun. A lot of people watch
It hasn't changed our relationship necessarily with the anime community at large as a whole, but
I
the
think
community that we stream to, we're really, I feel like, close with them, and we engage with them a lot because that's the way we have the most fun, I think.
Yeah, our stream is very much a podcast in the sense that we talk philosophy, we talk history, we talk new things that we're learning about. We do talk about anime and things, but it is they get to know us as people in a really interesting way.
It was also the regularity of it. Like we've been streaming for like 5 years, but it was so off and on and piecemeal. But us committing to do it every Wednesday was born out of the fact that conventions died there for a couple of years.
Yeah.
So we were like, well, how do we engage with our fan base and people who come out and see us? And we're like, oh, these VODs are getting tens of thousands of views.
Yeah.
Oh, we did a marathon stream and 2,000 people tuned in to watch us sleep. We're like, okay,
Yeah.
people are enjoying this. So it was born out of a way to just entertain people that wasn't at conventions.
And one thing that did change was that we would do all our streams in person before the pandemic, and then we found a way to do them remote, and it became more like a podcast.
Yeah.
Off camera, and we still do in person, but it's fun. We can have another way of doing it.
Yeah.
My name is Lenny, and I'm with.
Oh, you
Yes,
guys
yes.
together. Okay, cool.
All three of us.
Okay,
We
great.
are from, I'm Evan, that's Derek, that's Lynn.
Hello.
We're from the Boston Bachelor Brigade.
Okay.
So my question is about, well, with you guys being, doing improv comedy with L.A.V.A, you of course also deal with a lot of anime comedies. And I want to ask about if there are any challenges when it comes to like adapting anime comedies that have a very Japanese sense of humor that some Americans might not understand. Like for example, Mr. Osomatsu has a lot of Japanese humor that would go over the heads of Americans. So what are some of the things that you do that will help for the audience, the English-speaking audience, not just understand it, but maybe punch a joke up to be funnier?
I went to the anime doctor, and he said I wasn't funny enough to be an Osamatsu, so I just took that diagnosis and stopped trying to be funny in anime ever. Yeah.
It really is about freedom. For Osomatsu, I think it's one of the best adaptations. I watched the whole original Japanese, it was fantastic, and then for ours, just the freedom to do some fun improv and stuff. There's so much with them all talking at the same time, and so we can all just put in whatever we want that's reasonable for the scene at hand. And I think it really, I don't know, and eventually you're making it for this audience. And if the audience isn't going to understand the joke, then what's the point of adapting it? So I really think that having freedom is the most important thing. You don't have to do it.
Yeah.
Except for that horrible Mahjong episode where there's nothing you can do with that. It's just going to be a lot of Mahjong jokes.
Yeah.
And so what, English speakers will understand.
Yeah, well, comedy's so subjective anyway, isn't it? And
Yeah.
it's so cultural, and it's so even just time-based. Like, comedy is one of the few things that just does not hold up that great. Like, there are a few amazing specials that still exist that will always be amazing, but so much of it is like, we can make a reference this year, we can make a Genshin Impact joke this year, and 2 years ago, who would have known?
Yeah.
You know, or vice versa, and like some of the jokes that we were constantly changing, so.
Speaking of,
Yeah,
2 Genshin Impacts walk into a bar.
go ahead.
Ouch.
Nice.
Oh,
Classic.
nice.
Oh, man, so good.
2 Genshins impacted into a bar.
I mean, if you're out.
Wow.
Oh, back there, yes, Shirley here.
Yeah, yes. Okay, Ruben Barron from Looper.
Hello.
Yeah,
Hello.
Looper? I just did an interview with him.
Ah, they're cool, yeah. So, my first question today is, how do you see the Funimation Crunchyroll merger impacting the industry?
I don't know that we know enough about it.
Yeah, we had this question last week, and we do work for Crunchyroll, we do some work for Funimation, but
Yeah.
you know, we just get sent auditions. That's all we really know. Yeah.
I mean, ideally it would be, I don't know. I don't know enough about it.
Yeah.
We're really careful about speaking on things that we're not certain about. I mean, I'm sure it'll change things in a way, but at a certain point, you just pick projects based upon whether or not you'd like to do them or not. So, yeah, I don't really have an opinion on that one. Sorry. I wish what a crappy answer. I hope it shifts the industry for the better.
I think they should change the company's name to Crunchymation. That's
Crunchymation?
That's my official
I thought it
stance
should
on
have been Funny Roll.
Funny Roll? Funny Roll Crunchymation.
Funny Roll Crunchymation? That
Sounds really good, yeah.
Yeah.
That's our official
That's our
stance.
new company.
You can quote it.
We are
have quotes on
actually,
it.
I just sent it off to the lawyers.
Call the lawyers right now!
It's our new corporation.
Good. Well, let's start this whole party back over. Do we miss anybody?
Anybody else?
Nope. Okay, good.
Cool.
So you talked about not being able to do conventions for a couple of years, then you started the Twitch streaming, but now the convention scene is coming back. Do you find the convention scene has changed at all, at least from your perspective?
Absolutely.
I think people want to be here more. They want something to do. They've been pent up, ready, and now they're ready to get out and go just do stuff, so.
Yeah, it's busier than it's ever been. I think it's more organized than that's ever been.
And anime, kind of as a whole, just became more popular.
So much more mainstream.
It just, people watched it more. During the pandemic, people had nothing to do, and so they watched anime. And so there's, not only are people more excited about anime, but there's just the fan base has grown now.
Yeah, what a good point. I mean, when I think about what people were lined up 4 or 5 years ago, as opposed to now, it seems like so much more of it's anime. Like, I feel like it was all JRPGs 5 years ago, and now that things have come back and so much stuff has gone to streaming, it's so much more accessible. That's the thing, that it wasn't as accessible as you would want it to be. You'd be like, man, I want to watch the new Sailor Moon, but man, it's only on Hulu, and I don't have Hulu. But now it seems like the licensing is becoming sort of more free, and it's out there, and there's different ways to watch stuff. So yeah, I think anime is bigger than it's ever been. Absolutely. And people want to be, what we also say, people want to be entertained. Like, they're hungry for it. Like, our shows are rowdier than they've ever been, and in a good way. Like, the audiences are like hyped to be there and seeing something. And it's a pretty fun show. So they've always been loud audiences, but now they just sort of lose their mind. It's really fun. Yeah.
Now, I do an improv talk show, and I was curious, doing the improv comedy, what advice can you give to somebody who does a 2-hour talk show completely unscripted, when things go unexpected, we've had guest cancellations hours before the show, things of that nature. What's a good piece of advice you could give, not just to myself, but our listeners who may encounter similar things?
I think for sure embracing all the mistakes, all the crazy stuff. That's always one of my favorite things about improv when things are going wrong. It's an opportunity to let the audience in on the madness. I think that's always a great way to have candor with an audience, not try to hide something and say, oh, this is going poorly, but just really lean into it. I think it's always welcome. People find that very refreshing.
Yeah, and for those who thrive on routine and are made uncomfortable by sort of those changes that might happen, like someone canceling on you or whatever, you really have to like remind yourself why you're doing that, and hopefully it's to entertain other people and try to make it less about you and more about what you're trying to do, and that makes it easier to roll with the punches. So, you know, if I make something so personal and I let my feelings get hurt if someone cancels on me, it can make it harder to move yourself mentally out of that. But if you're just saying, no, I'm just here to make a show. Oh, that asshole didn't come? Fine. Let's figure out something else fun to do. I'll make this entertaining because I care about my audience. I think that's good advice. No?
I agree.
Yeah.
So to follow up on the improv thing a little bit, do you guys have a background in improv? And then also, I saw on Max Mittelman's Twitter that the "My Bro, My Guy, My Dude" line from Genshin Impact was improvised. So do you have a favorite improvised line that you've done?
What's our improv experience? I took many improv classes at places like Upright Citizens Brigade and Groundlings and Second City. Ray, you were in the improv troupe
At
team.
USC, at school, ever since high school I was doing improv, so a long time. Lots of different shows. Robbie, you too?
Yeah, same since high school, but then grad school, my grad school work was very much improv based and not just comedy. Like we did a bunch of like commedia work, we did a ton of body work, we did a lot of it was like sort of improv based theater, and then for 2 back-to-back semesters we did improv comedy as one of our main courses of study. So that's where I went. Yeah.
And then our favorite improvised Ad-Libs. I like when I got to say yeet from Ryuji and anime. That was fun.
Oh, that's a good one. Ooh, it's hard to pull them out because then they just become part of like the. I've gone to this one like in Final Fantasy. There's this thing that everybody likes where I just sang a little song when I'm going down these stairs, and it was never supposed to be a song. It was never supposed to be anything like that. It was just supposed to be a really we're going downstairs, and I was like, I don't know, why is this? I think it's because like the Japanese was like 32 seconds or something like that. I was like, why is this so long? And the line is going down the stairs. I was like, how do I fill it? I guess I'll just sing. So, you know, that sort of stuff pops up all the time.
Yeah, same for me in Beans, just extending the line to make it fit 5 seconds, and it being pretty funny.
I'll change my answer and say the beatboxing that I did instead of the humming that I was supposed to do for Breadwinners.
Oh, yeah.
That was probably my favorite.
Yes. Good question.
You guys in the front.
All right. So I know all 3 of you have been involved in working on Persona 5. I believe 2 out of the 3 of you have also worked on one of my other favorite JRPGs, Akiba's Beat.
Akiba's Beat. Yeah.
Now, despite their differences in tone and style, they both shared a lot in common in regards to dealing with delusional characters and talk about acting as commentary regarding distrust in our society. When working on either game, did you find any parallels between what went on in these 2 titles and what was going on in the real world?
That's a very in-depth question.
Wow.
How was Akiba's Beat similar to the real world? What was that, 2017?
Cup of tea. It's weird because I guess the reason why this question is hard is because you're asking about thematic parallels and things like that.
Yeah.
And when I think about that game, I think about working on it at Cup of Tea in Eddie's house. It was in his house. And so I think about, it's just such a different, our memories of that game are very different from what the finished product is. So it's hard to conceptualize these things. Yeah, Akiba's was a strange one.
Did we ever play that on stream? We tried one time, right? No, we never did.
No, never.
Yeah.
You should. It's very underrated, in my opinion.
Yeah, well, a lot of people like it. That's a whole series, though, right?
Yeah, because of the Akiba Strip, and then
Yeah.
this is like I think the second or the third rather, because there's like Akiba Strip 2.
I don't know. That's a tough one. We're pretty familiar with Persona because we played like 50 hours of it. What are the big themes in Persona? Obviously,
Cats can be humans too.
Corruption. Cats can be humans too. Adults are bad.
Adults bad, kids rule.
Kids rule. That was probably the big theme that keep us beat too. We're all kids. Wait, we suck.
Maybe we suck. Oh,
Yeah, sorry.
Nothing.
We're ill-suited to answer this question. Apologies.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Yes, Luke, we're in the back.
So question for Robbie.
Okay.
Yeah. There are people claiming that you are reprising your role of the eighth brother in the new Obi-Wan Kenobi series.
Oh.
Can you confirm or deny these rumors?
I could fully deny them.
I will be voicing the eighth.
That weirdly insistent Wikipedia editor, that was me.
I mean, yeah, if they're done shooting Obi-Wan Kenobi, then I have not been in it. So that is your answer.
Wait, they're saying that you're in a live action show?
Yeah, but the character I would guess would be a CG
Oh, I
character or
see.
some form of if the character is even in it.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone really knows that. The reason they're making that parallel is because there are Inquisitors in
This show. or
this
whatever.
show, and they've been keeping everything else canon, but I don't know. But maybe they pulled my voice from the show. Who knows? Could be. You never know. Yeah.
Starting back over with the Herald.
All right, so we have a pianist, we have a beatboxer and a drummer, and we have a singer. Have you guys ever considered performing together musically?
We talk about it a lot. He plays guitar too.
Yeah,
Oh.
I do play guitar.
Yeah.
We do. We do like little music-y things together. Max and I have done, messed around with some music productions and songs. I do a series on YouTube where I do covers with other actors. Ray and I have talked about singing one. Max and I have talked about singing one. It's so funny. In all of our creative life, we're all musical, and we've never really taken the time to bring it together. And I think it's because most bands break up, and we're too deeply invested to break up with each other. We're waifus for lifeu. So yeah, I mean, I had fun making the song with Max, absolutely. We've got we sing a song together at the top of our improv show. We've got a couple projects coming up where we'll be doing music for that. Max is in charge of it. So yeah, it's that's an interesting question. How funny. We've never
That's Anne right.
we've done that. We've never done that. We've never done anything like that except you and I. Yeah. And it's unreleased too. I don't know if we'll ever release it.
Huh.
It's just for us. It's fun. Some things you got to do for yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. What do you think, boys?
I think you should release your freaking song. I've heard it. It's really good.
Thanks.
I don't know why they're not. It is honestly frustrating.
Because, I'll tell you why.
What?
Because it's only one, and if it blows up, people are gonna expect so much more, and we don't have that yet.
People
We need
don't
to make
listen
the
to
album.
albums. They don't listen to albums
They
anymore.
listen. Do you
Release your
What if we could
single.
even take a TikTok song? What if we became a TikTok song?
If we became
Yeah.
a TikTok, if the three of us became
No,
a
if your
TikTok
song became the new viral hit,
Oh, you wanna just put it on TikTok?
just
No.
put it on TikTok.
Maybe someday. Who knows? But L.A.V.A. the musical. Don't hold your breath. Right back there.
You all have had some iconic roles that you voiced in video games and anime. Was there any particular character that stands out that you were surprised that they became so beloved by the fans?
Surprised.
Surprise hit. Akechi. Akechi was a massive surprise hit for me. Max and Ray informed me that Persona was a big property when I got the role, and I was like, I don't know what that is. And I play a lot of games. Like, I watch a lot of anime. I'm into this stuff, but I just never got into Persona. I was aware of it, like, peripheral, that it existed, but I had no idea. And I went in and I was like, oh, this was actually a really cool character. So I went hard in the paint, and people tended to enjoy it. That was a surprise, a big surprise for me. Yeah. That it would be like one of my most recognizable characters. Never was there a moment where I was recording where I was like, everybody's gotta remember to catch his name. Put it on my gravestone.
Sometimes it's a surprise to me that characters aren't as big as-
That's bigger, more
Oh
bigger
yeah,
too.
Where I'm
I
like,
was the
oh.
main character of Anthem, which was supposed to be the biggest game of all time. Just crashed and burned. That was a big surprise.
Yeah,
Yeah.
especially like when you are really invested in a character.
Yeah.
And you think, wow, this is so fun to play or whatever, and people don't like latch onto it. You're like, oh man, it's just
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I put my heart and soul into Cabaneri of the Iron Fortress. I put my all into that
You
show.
put your soul pussy.
Same thing. I mean, like, people liked it, I guess, but it was like the next big show out of the Attack on Titan studio, And like, it was all hyped up, and like, this is gonna be the one, and then everybody was kind of like, it's okay, we'll give it a season and a movie. And I was like, shit, I thought this was gonna be like my
That's
next
right.
big thing.
Be the beginning. Netflix put all of their marketing materials into that one.
Yeah.
And, it went nowhere. Just
Yeah.
one season
You-
and then half a season.
You truly don't know what's gonna hit unless it's already like a monster manga or something like that. Like, I think when Max was going through his callbacks for One Punch Man, we all had an idea that One Punch Man was gonna be like the anime of the year or whatever. So like, that happens every once in a while, but typically not. It's a surprise a lot of the time. You know, like when Ray and I were working on Final Fantasy, we were like, dude, this is the next Final Fantasy.
We knew that was going to be a big one.
Yeah, but we didn't know, what we didn't know is the fans would latch onto it so emotionally.
Yeah.
That it would be some of the most passionate, long-term fans that we have. I mean, that thing's been out for 5.5 years, and we still see cosplayers and people come up still crying and be like, I just played through it. And you're like, this game's been out
I
for
remember
6
before
years.
it came out, we were like, oh, it's going to be about combat, it's going to be about fighting, it's going to be an adventure. And what people love is the cooking, the fishing, the camping, like the actual brotherhood of it. And that's what it is a game. It's a game about hanging out with your friends.
Yeah.
And that's what came out. Actually, I do have a surprise, was Bungo Stray Dogs.
Oh,
that
yeah.
one came out, not very popular,
Yep.
and then the pandemic happened, and people started watching that show like crazy. So Bungo was a surprise.
Yeah.
Next question. Thank you for the one.
So, for Ray, if you
So-
don't feel like answering this, you don't have
Oh,
to.
sorry,
but-
I'm being summoned.
So since the Master of Masters from Kingdom Hearts is so like shrouded in mystery, do you have any like theories about him, about what his goals might be?
I can't even imagine. All I know is that it is not whatever we are thinking, because it never happens to be. That was absolutely a role that I know the least about, having played him for so many years. I can't say anything. I wish I knew more. I do hope that he comes in and it's called the Lost Master arc, and he's the Lost Master, so you'd imagine that he'd be featured pretty heavily in the next one, but I've not been called in yet.
Yeah.
Okay.
We know the order now. We don't have to call on you anymore.
So I'm curious, have there shows that you guys have worked on that you feel have hit harder with what has been going on with the pandemic and such?
Shows that we've worked in, hit harder in what sense?
Like, it has a much deeper meaning now, or it like possibly like your thought process of the show has changed because of what's been going on with the pandemic and such.
Yeah, boy.
You'd think that Cells at Work would be that one, huh?
You would.
Yeah, interesting. I'm not certain that you can let those things affect your work. Right? I mean, if we're letting the conditions of the world affect our performances, then we're kind of in the wrong, that's the wrong mindset.
Yeah.
There have been times in the pandemic where I've been like, oh, I'm so grateful to be working, or, oh, I'm so happy that this is that I can still work as we watched our other friends who are on camera people, theater people, they just went out of work for a year.
Yeah.
Like no more productions until people figured out how to do COVID protocols. So I would say, we've all got families and people we care about that we take care of and help take care of. So being able to work was really important. Yeah.
The question actually was more about shows that you worked on before the pandemic, and now, after everything that's been going on, like you feel that there's a deeper meaning to the stuff that you had worked on.
I can't imagine, just because I think it might have more meaning for you as an audience
I was
member.
gonna say, I think everyone
Yeah.
sort of derives their own meaning from it.
Right.
Depending on whatever's going on in their own lives.
Yeah. So I don't think that it was crafted in a sense to.
One Punch Man
Yeah.
could have just as much meaning to someone as Your Lie in April, depending on
There is
what they
Vaccine Man.
need.
1%.
What's that?
Vaccine Man hits harder.
Now we
Yeah.
want to talk about
Yeah.
Vaccine Man.
Hey guys, what do you think?
Yes.
That's it.
Hey! Good job!
All right, guys.
All right, Looper, right?
Yes. So looking over Ray Chase's resume, it's like anime, video games, anime, licorice pizza.
Yes.
So I have to ask, is Paul Thomas Anderson a weeaboo?
Absolutely not, no. I had the weird, I'm Mr. Anime JRPG guy, and then that year was Licorice Pizza and Malignant. I got to work with James Wan too, in a crazy horror movie. It was really, really fun to to really branch out in that way.
Is James Wan a weeaboo?
Probably. It didn't come up during when we worked on it. We talked mostly about what it would be like to be on the back of somebody's head.
Ray's a real actor. Did you know that? He's like a real live actor. A lot of us are. And when we
Robbie
love
watched Licorice Pizza on the plane. It was fun.
I
We
did.
took a screenshot. I'm like, wow, there's my face on the thing.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was great. I do sign Licorice Pizza. People bring the soundtrack to me all the time, which is really fun. But nobody's ever brought me the Paul Thomas Anderson manga to sign. Not yet.
School of Lava. If you were all professors, if you were teaching and acting and such, what course would each of you want to focus on? What would you want to teach?
Now, Anime Herald, you do your research, but Robbie was an acting teacher for years at UNLV.
Yeah,
But this is the University of Law.
The School of Lava? How to do it?
Like we've got, well, first of all, it would be a scam right out of it.
100%. We would promise people that we would cast them in anime, and we would just make them dub One Punch Man over again and not release it.
Yeah,
That'd be
perfect.
great, yeah. A scam. Man, there's so many of those at L.A. Like when you're first starting out, it's all the like, we promise you'll take this class, pay us $800, and at the end of it you'll get
Dude,
a showcase.
I'm calling right now. Yeah, I
Yeah.
taught at the New York Film Academy. I'm so comfortable now. I'll shit on that place all day.
Yeah.
Why were they bad?
They were a scam.
Which is in Los Angeles. First problem. New York Film Academy is in Los Angeles. They're,
But there is one in New York as well.
Suspect.
There is
Yeah.
one in New York as well. It took place in a office building on Barham Boulevard, but it was run by, and I think he ended up being some kind of like skis bag, Brett Ratner. I think ran the thing. But I didn't know that when I got the job, so I left grad school. This is good. Oh, what's good? We got time. Can we go down the rabbit hole for a
Yes,
second?
absolutely.
So I left grad school and went to L.A., bumped around with my band, and then booked my first VO gig. And I was like 2 weeks in, I was like, this is gonna be easy. And then recession, writer strike. I couldn't get a job with my master's degree as a pizza delivery boy, and that's a true story. Couldn't get a job delivering pizza. There were lines around the block to wait tables at restaurants, actors with headshots. Some ridiculous number, like 250,000 people left in like 3 months, left the city. Brutal time to be there. And I could not get a job, and right where I was like, my savings are gone, my bank account's red, I can't get a pizza delivery job, this is all over. I found an ad for a teacher at the New York Film Academy, and I was overqualified to work there by far. They paid us hourly, I was bringing in like real pedagogy and all this stuff. I taught there for a semester, and I was like, oh, this is all bullshit. I was like, it was like 20,000 a semester. It was a bunch of like Eastern European oligarchs' kids, and I was like teaching them Shakespeare, telling them they're gonna like make it in Hollywood. I wasn't telling them they're gonna make it in Hollywood, but that was what was being sold, right? It truly was a scam, and I eventually had to leave because of this. I was like, I can't do this anymore. When I found out they were offering a master's degree, they were offering an MFA, and they got accredited as a university, I was like, I can't be here. I was like, this is. My conscience can't do it, and my acting career started taking off. So I was there for about 2 years. And anyway, what was the point
Do
of
you
the
think
story?
that now you could get a pizza delivery job?
What?
Do you think if you tried, could you get a pizza delivery job?
I'm overqualified. I'm 40 years
You're not
old.
gonna get it. Damn.
I don't think I would get it. I don't think I would get it. But
What would we
those
teach?
kind of places existed. I would want to teach something real.
Our big thing that we talk about all the time on our stream is about how much you can't, because we hear it from the fans who want to be in anime and they watch a ton of anime and they mimic our performances, and that is not the way to do
Hey,
it. You
here's
have
how
to
you-
come from an outsider's perspective and bring your own viewpoint to it.
As
That's
much-
what all of us do.
As much of a scam that you say that was, the only non-scammy part was learning from people like you who have
quit immediately.
Who quit.
That is true. And they had a handful. To be fair, their faculty was pretty solid.
Yeah, because I was gonna say the way to avoid a scam, like if you want to search out like someone, you want to find people who are reputable. You want to find people who are doing the work and not just talking about it.
And who are honest too about your progress.
Yeah.
That was the hardest part about me about that school, was that because Svetlana was paying 20 grand a semester and could barely speak English and move her body, I was like, hey, if I were at university, I would give this person like a D. I'd be like, I just can't pass you in this course. You don't have the skills. I can't grade you. And they're like, no. She needs a B minus, so she continues on this program. And that was the part that was icky for me. So yeah, I would teach like real functional skills.
Math, science, School of Lava, hardcore, and
Oh yeah,
STEM.
It's
a
no electives.
total STEM.
Russian history, linguistics,
That'd be amazing.
engineering.
That was fun. Next.
I can teach a thing or two about scientific research because I am a published scientific researcher.
Alex is literally a published scientific
I am. You
researcher.
can look it up.
Oh, from downtown.
GMAT.
Oh.
Right off the ceiling. I thought I had it at the ceiling.
I did some research for you missed it. Place called thing called GMAPS. It was researching.
He cut up like fly genitalia.
It
for, like,
wasn't
6
that. It
months
was
or something.
studying the genetic lineage. It doesn't matter. It's very complicated stuff. What's the next question?
First off, you could do pizza delivery because I just got a job doing that as a second.
Yes, teamwork.
I'm in my
Congratulations,
mid-40s.
good job.
This one's for Ray. We're talking about Demon Slayer.
Yes.
How surprised were you to get the role of Tenjin and how big he has become? I know so many people who love that character.
That was a weird one because I'm really good friends with Alex Lee, who's Zenitsu and I. And I remember the auditions went out. Had no idea what it was. That one I was surprised was a hit because I just didn't know anything about it, personally. Auditioned for all the Hashira, got Tengen, had like 14 lines in season 1. I was like, oh, this is just some lame character who's appearing for a second. And Alex kept saying, you don't understand, he's like the main guy, just wait. And I had to wait like 2 years to work on season 2, but man, watching that in sub every week before to prepare was one of the coolest homework assignments ever. That animation was as flashy as possible. I've never seen an anime like that before.
Can't wait for Sabito's extended role.
I don't know if he comes
Demon Slayer. He is like the main character in season 17.
But that was a real fun, that was some of the most fun that I've ever had. And that one I requested to go in studio for because it's has to be so frame perfect for those fight scenes. They're so intense. So really fun.
It's a real answer. We did it.
Yep.
So for Max, honestly, like one of my favorite roles of yours is Bilbo from Bugsnax.
Obviously.
Yeah.
He's great. So there's kind of a lot of complexity to him underneath his cheerful attitude. So how did you use your performance to sort of show how he grows and changes?
I
in the story?
think he starts off very insecure, very needy, wanting to find, what's her face, the one who is away and who is what?
Elizabeth, right?
Is it Elizabeth who?
Is it Elizabeth?
Lisbert?
Lisbeth.
Yeah.
He's very insecure about her not being there, and then as he's sort of been given this responsibility to run the town as the mayor, he grows and becomes more confident in himself. And yes, was that your question?
Well, it was like, what in your performance did you do to sort of show that was the change that he?
To show that, I mean, that was it. In the beginning, he was just very, I don't know how to describe it other than the way I performed it. I don't know how to say it.
I got you. One of the biggest no-nos in acting is to show. That's like one of the biggest no-nos. So like
tell.
To show and to tell. You don't show. You never show. You never go, this is the safe. Same.
I
You don't-
am
you don't-
nervous.
Yeah, you don't show, you don't point at the safe, you just do it. So.
Oh, I see. Like, yeah, if you're playing someone who's nervous, yeah, they're not going to say, I'm nervous. They're trying to hide that they're nervous, and their nervousness goes
Trying
through.
to act confident, but it's not working out for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if that's what you took from his performance, then that's the perfect interpretation of it. Sounds like that's what he was going for,
Yeah.
and what you picked up on. So that's the perfect actor-audience
Robbie with the
relationship.
save.
Thanks, Robbie.
Thank you. I think
This
that's
is
what,
why he has an MFA.
I think that's what was meant. Yeah,
But
yeah,
I
yeah.
don't.
Yeah, I got you. Thank you.
Over the last few years, outside of anime was OKKO, Let's Be Heroes.
Okay,
And you sounded like you were having a blast playing the character of Raymond.
sure.
And I'm wondering how you decided on how he should talk, what his personality was going to be like, and just what you brought to the character that made him Raymond.
When the audition first came out, he had a rose, and I knew that the creator was a big anime fan, so I thought maybe it was tuxedo mask reference, maybe, because maybe he had like a tuxedo. So I was like, tell him I'm tuxedo mask. And then I just did the horniest robot I could possibly do. Don't tell anyone, I know it's a kid's show, but that's the kind of voice that it was. He wasn't being like overtly sexual, but the voice itself was horny, because everything's just, you know what I mean? And it doesn't have to be sexual, but the voice itself is.
If that's the word that helps you get,
Horny?
horny. No, if that's the word that helps you get into
Yeah.
voice,
Yeah, of
then
course.
you can use that, and nobody will ever know that.
Yeah. It wasn't actually.
You're not going for
I
that.
wasn't. Yeah, no. There was no like. I wasn't making it sexual, but the voice itself had that to it. You know, you know Tim Curry is. Yeah. Well, even when he's not being sexual or playing a sexual
He's
character,
always
I think he has
sexual.
a horny quality to his voice. So I think that was like part of that inspiration too. And then there are some scenes where it was just like that. Yeah, and he was flamboyant and over the top and open and free. And that's how I kind of worked my way into that voice. Yeah, one of my favorites too. I love Raymond. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Looper.
Yes. So Demon Slayer and Jujutsu Kaisen are sort of like neck and neck in terms of like being like the most popular anime and manga series at the moment.
It's really great being isn't it, Max?
Yeah.
Yeah. So great.
And Ray and Robbie are
And Max.
Max, I don't think you're
and Max is a Demon Slayer. And I don't know if you're allowed to play favorites, but if you had to choose one, which would you pick as your personal favorite between the two of them?
Whoa, I've watched them both.
I don't want to alienate anybody who likes them.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to answer this question. I couldn't possibly choose.
I think they're both great shows. They're so different, though. They're so different.
It's hard, yeah, because like one is like a Dragon Ball, which you can't help but love, and then one's like the more darker, hardcore, like a Death Note kind of thing. And but I don't know, they're both so different.
They're gonna make us the good son. It's on a cliff.
Sophie's Choice it?
Sophie's Choice it. I never want to say Sophie's Choice, but it's probably the best. Well, who are you letting go?
Who am I letting go? Demon Slayer, because I'm done with Demon Slayer. Season 2.
That's a great answer.
Season 2, baby.
Oh man, I still have the Sword Villagers arc.
You do have
season
Sword
3. I
Villagers,
can't
yeah.
let Demon Slayer go. I let Demon Slayer go. One of my favorite. Oh, sorry. No.
So the answer is we let Demon Slayer fall off a cliff and die.
Yeah.
That's the answer.
Yeah.
Quote us on that.
Enjoy, Looper.
Do we want to do a quick lightning round and then photo?
Yeah, let's do
Let's do
it.
it. Lightning round.
All right, lightning round. This is one's for you, Max. How do you?
Well, then we don't need to. We can take our time with this.
Oh, that's it. So, when you were acting for One Punch Man for Saitama, how do you get into a bald frame of mind?
How do we get into a bald frame of mind? Well, good question. You start by being extremely nervous that you need to deliver to all the fans who you know are going to watch. No, I don't know. It was you're trying to strike a balance between a guy who's just like, he's not necessarily lazy, but he's achieved all the things he wants to achieve, and it's this sense of just being so bored. How do I get into character?
How do you get into a bald frame of mind?
This is a lightning
This is a
round.
joke question.
I know.
You gotta get a joke answer.
A joke answer. Well, shave it all off.
Nailed it! Max is already so hairy that it's hard for him to go there. Look at these arms. Look at these arms.
Performing as L.A.V.A, how has that changed how you perform in acting and voice acting?
I used to like Max and Ray so much.
I used to hate these guys.
It's changed how we do panels, especially Q&A panels. We kind of treat it as a show, no matter what we're doing.
It has made, it hasn't changed our performances, I don't think, in anime and stuff. Not really, except they don't really cast us together anymore.
No, they stopped
I
immediately.
feel like there's too much power.
Yeah, it is true.
I feel like they're like with the naughty kids in class. And
Yes,
they're
you
like,
can't have them sit
Yes, you
together.
can't have them sit together. That's
yeah,
right.
sit together.
That's why Max isn't in Jujutsu Kaisen. Next question.
So for all three of you, what do you find to be the most rewarding part of your career?
Working with these guys.
Aw, it's true. It's been this.
It is why we keep enmeshing ourselves in so many different projects and stuff, extracurricular activities, because we love finding like-minded people.
Yeah, we also, I think it also adds to our entertainment value when we go to these events. Like one of the things that we take most seriously when we go to conventions, and we do a lot of them, I think we're doing 25 together this year, is that it's, well, total, I think between us, we're doing over 30. We each got a few solo shows. I think together we're doing somewhere around 25. Anyway, the point of it is we got together because we wanted to bring added entertainment to these conventions, which is where the idea of the show came, which is where the idea of the 2 new panels that we do.
Tuna panels.
Tuna panels. Too much tuna panels. These panels that we do. So that is, and our favorite thing is showing the attendees, to entertain the attendees, and this gives us a whole new way to do that. That so far, not a ton of other people are doing that, as far as we know. So,
Correct.
it's awesome.
Next question.
Awesome. So actually, this is a tradition. Yeah, it's a little tradition that we have. Normally, we would ask if you were stuck on a desert island, which of your 3 characters would you bring along with you to be on that island and why?
Okay.
Well, where there are 3 of you here, how about if each one of you could pick one of your characters to join you guys on an island? Which would it be and why?
Great.
Can I choose Philbo Fiddlepie? Because he's
Damn
really
it.
good at crafting, he's really good at finding food and stuff, and he's a good mayor. So I'd want him to be the mayor of the town.
Okay. Fine. I need to think about it.
You'd have to choose Robbie, and Robbie
I
actually
know.
Yeah. I would choose Ray, your characters.
They're all terrible. You want to hang out with them?
I'm just the guy from Anthem. We need someone who flies. That guy flies around the world. Like, bro, I don't care if your game's canceled, but give me some coconuts, dog. I'm hungry. And he'd be like, sure thing.
Hilarious.
He'd come back with firewood.
His name is Freelancer.
Oh, friend, I would hire him
Yeah.
to be my desert island freelancer.
I
I pay him
would-
in seashells.
I would choose Robbie Daymond from Critical Role.
Whoa!
Not Dorian.
No.
No.
Robbie Daymond
Oh,
from
okay.
Critical Role. That way I can have Robbie Daymond with me at all times.
I would absolutely kill and cannibalize you both.
I want to. Oh, with Looper, we got him.
Now, a question for the Matsus. Was there ever any consideration of, even just as a thing between yourselves, of dubbing the band first episode and the best episode?
Yes.
That's all we wanted to do.
We begged them. We begged them.
Viz
please.
wanted to do it too, but
Yes.
it's just a Japanese thing. They can't.
It's
can't
not.
do
It's
it.
not. It's just there were so many. It's not a Japanese thing. It's an
No.
American thing. We couldn't get. They couldn't get the clearance to put that many references in an American show. Japan could do it. We could not.
It's the same way that in JoJo you have to change all the stand names from all the musicians, the real life musicians. We couldn't do that when
I don't know this. What is it?
It's the best episode of anime ever.
If you watch one episode of Osamatsu, it's
It's
just
the first
the
episode. They
What happened?
lampoon every anime that's ever been made all at once. It's hilarious.
What's like one of those
The animation style changes along the way. It's so great.
like one of those old school Looney Tunes where they would walk into a bar and it would be like
Yes.
every Hollywood
Yes.
person ever,
Yeah.
and they go through the lampoon.
But also the animation would change. So like there would be like references to Pokemon, and they'd all look like characters from Pokemon or whatever.
Yeah.
So
Is it a
We want
licensing
to.
thing?
it's a licensing thing.
Yeah.
We should watch that episode. It's very fun.
All right.
Thank you for
Thanks,
the question,
everybody.
Thanks
guys.
everybody.
Let's do a picture.
Let's do picture time. Teamwork. Beep, beep, beep.